And so if I can do anything to change that, to allow women to step into their power and to allow women to not have their health hold them back, I will absolutely do it. And that means that I can be a challenging person to work around sometimes, because I am always coming up with the next idea and the next thing to support women in a bigger way.
Welcome to the Advanced Women's Health Podcast, where we empower women with the latest insights and advice on holistic health. From cutting-edge medical research to practical wellness tips, our mission is to help you thrive at every stage of life. Join us as we explore topics ranging from hormonal balance and reproductive health to nutrition and mental well-being. Whether you're seeking solutions for a specific health concern or simply want to enhance your overall wellness, you're in the right place. Let's embark on this journey to better health together. This is the Advanced Women's Health Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Advanced Women's Health Podcast. I am so excited to have another solo episode. For those of you who don't know, I am Dr. Sarah Wilson. I'm a naturopathic doctor, the founder of Advanced Women's Health, and recently actually had someone ask who I was when I was talking to them on behalf of the company. And I was like, this is great, because honestly, I spent so many years trying to build this company around myself, and I do a lot of speaking, I've written books, and it's really expanded so far beyond me. And I have such an amazing team. I am so grateful for them. We are just consistently growing, but I thought it would be helpful for me to intro myself again. So I am the researcher, I am the nerd, I am the woman behind the business. So today we're going to dive into one of my pet projects over the last 18 months, which is our new patient onboarding system. And so for those of you who are patients at Advanced Women's Health, this is something that you guys can join. I know I'm going to get that question. So by all means, reach out to our team. We'll get you onboarded. For those of you who are not a patient of Advanced Women's Health, you guys will now get this as a part of your onboarding. So I wanted to get that out of the way before we dive in, because I know there's going to be a lot of excited people listening to this. So I want to dial way back. When I first started practicing 10 years ago, I very much acknowledged that there was a need for support outside of visits. So patients come to us, and whether you're coming to us with a specific concern, whether you're coming to us with 10 specific concerns and you feel like you have a complex case to manage, whether you're just coming to us for optimal health, whenever you see a naturopathic doctor or functional practitioner or anyone who is really just taking a lot of time to go through all the different aspects of your health, explain to you what that means, and start to deliver a plan, it's overwhelming, right? It's like you feel heard, you feel supported, but you also just really can feel like you don't know what to do next. You don't know how to navigate forward. You don't know how to integrate all of the information you were just given. You hear 10 different things that are really fascinating, but you're like, I want to know more about this and this and this, but whoa. And so from that moment, I knew I wanted to provide a really structured, supportive way for patients to get information, not just like in one 90-minute or 60-minute visit where it's like everything's thrown at them. But I knew that I wanted to educate over the course of a long-term relationship with patients. So from very early on, I did a lot of education, lots of webinars, wrote a book, had so many PDFs that were very ugly. Thank you for my patience back in the day. We did not have Canva. So I had lots of really ugly handouts and guides and all these things for patients. And I look back at them now. And sometimes my team will ask me, they'll be like, oh, hey, like, can you show me the handout that you were talking about from when you started? Because the content's still good. I was like, no, I will not. I will not do that for you because they were very ugly. So I love you all for sticking with me and believing that I was intelligent. But when we look, the need was there. There was just this need for consistency and support. And I tried so many different ways. I brought in nutrition students to support. We offer at Advanced Women's Health already free nutrition 101 calls, free goal setting calls. And so I just over the last 10 years have been consistently putting one foot in front of the other to try to make this a system that was more approachable. We used to sell a lot of these resources as programs that people could join. And it was, again, there was more expense to it, but it was 6-week small group programming where people could get education, and it was great. And we loved doing it. But again, there's only so many people you can take into those programs. So Over the last 18 months, we have been building out a system that essentially takes people through the first month minimum up to 6 weeks of their journey with advanced women's health in a handheld way. So essentially what we're doing is our goal is to meet you where you're at and provide structured education with little daily nuggets of what you need to know, the support for movement, the support for meal planning, the support for community, all of those things, so that you get by the end of that first month, you're implementing your plan, you're getting results, but you've also just kickstarted your journey so that you can then dive into the educational modules and the programming we have in our app that allows us to give you this level of support, education, and experience between visits that you're not going to get anywhere else. I'm literally now, for the same price as you get an appointment somewhere else and you have a 90-minute visit and you walk out and you have to implement it all on your own, we now have that visit plus an onboarding coordinator who is going to hold your hand through that period of time. And we have all of the education and support I'm about to tell you. So again, this is the benefits. I think when people think about big businesses, they think about corporations. They think you lose personal touch with big business, that you become just a number. And to us, we take the resources we have in a big business and allow it to sink further into your experience. And I am very much on my path, but also am extremely committed to being the best clinic in Canada for women. Naturopathic medicine or not, it doesn't matter. I want to be the best clinic in Canada for women. I want to provide an experience that you are not going to get anywhere else. And I want to provide diagnostics at the level of the Cleveland Clinic in these places. And that is why we hold very high standards. The doctors who work here are here for a reason. They are held to a very high standard. They meet every day for clinical rounds. They're required to take hours and hours of continuing education that I have developed for them. They're having to stay up to date with resources, and they do it gladly. They work harder here than they do anywhere else, and they're still here, right? And that is because they love to be held to a high standard and because they want that experience of being the best doctor they can for you, for their patients, for themselves. And they want to be a part of a team that's the best team in Canada. And so we've done that for our docs since day one. We've had that level of education. We've been able to provide that in the protocols you get. Patients come here after seeing 5, 6, 7, 10 other doctors, and they get the right diagnosis and they get the treatment that resolves their symptoms. But they still have to implement that treatment. So we're now taking these very high standards that we've had for our team since inception and really being able to flush that down to giving the same excellence in support to patients as we onboard them. Again, not having an additional fee compared to what you would pay at a lot of other clinics. So how onboarding and this onboarding process works now is essentially all new patients who come into the clinic are invited to do a questionnaire. Your doctor may customize your experience for you. So they may say, okay, this is exactly the meal plan. This is exactly your movement plan. This is your educational path. They may customize that for you, which is great. But if they don't customize that for you, then we as a company have a questionnaire that you go through that helps to break down what is the best option for you. So in my experience, having seen all of the patients that I've seen, when we have a patient who's struggling to implement a plan, it's generally one of two different things, right? One of them is they know what to do. So they're like, I'm very comfortable. I know what to do. I just can't do it. They're dealing with mindset struggles. They're dealing with overwhelm. They're dealing with how to structure their day. They're dealing with the identity of someone who has built a lot of support systems around whatever their fatigue is, etc. Their diagnosis is, again, that mindset piece, the how to get back on track, the just general support structure that allows them to think differently about their day, their week, their month, their plan. And this is something I spend a lot of time with people on because we have so many limiting beliefs and we have so much going on. I have 11 clinics, right? Each clinic is like its own little child in a lot of ways. It needs a lot from me. Plus, I have 2 human children, right? I have a human husband Not a robotic one yet, but they're coming. They're coming. No, I'm joking. My husband doesn't edit these podcasts anymore, so I can say what I want. But when we're looking at that, I have a very full life, right? I also have to take care of my health. I'm very active. I have friends. I have all of these things. And so I understand the pressures that are on women in their day-to-day lives and men in their day-to-day lives. And it's a lot, but we still can find times for ourselves and our health within that. And so I'm really passionate about that.
Today's episode is brought to you by none other than Advanced Women's Health. If you are interested in diving in deeper to your health, if you are finally ready to feel like yourself, and you are finally over hearing everything's normal, everything's fine, and you want a deeper dive into your healthcare, then we are here to help you. We are currently helping patients in British Columbia and Ontario, Canada. But don't worry, if you're in another province, still reach out, get added to the wait list as we expand coast to coast. We cannot wait to work with you. Check out the show notes for more information on how to get started.
So we have a whole stream that breaks that down and talks about that and gives you very actionable strategies, again, in 10 minutes a day. And also elevating your understanding of health. So if you feel like the basics you understand, how can we just up level that so that you can take your health to the next level? So that's one of the streams. Then we have another stream, which is for people who are really overwhelmed because they're dipping their toe into the health pool for the first time. They're like, okay, what is a carbohydrate? What is insulin? What is blood sugar? What is the best plan for me? Again, like just these very fundamental questions that if you put into an AI system can give you 10 different answers. On social, you're getting 10 different answers to these questions. And people just don't know where to go. So essentially, we have a very structured system explaining what the nervous system is, what the mitochondria is, explaining, again, what the fundamentals are of nutrition. Should you eat gluten? Should you not eat gluten? What's a food sensitivity? All of these educational principles, again, in these 10 minutes a day. The goal is that we tell patients to move their body, right? That is a strategy that is important for your nervous system, for your blood sugar management, for even just like pain, for energy. So if you're moving your body 10 minutes a day, then you can put in your headphones and listen to one of these and just get that education while you go for a walk. And so that is the two initial streams. Are we supporting you to up-level your mindset and actually implement your plan? Or are we walking you through the foundations of how we think and treat and advance women's health? Then we look at what type of meal structure is going to be most appropriate for you. So we hear all the time, people are like, okay, well, I want to eat in this low insulin demand way, but I need a meal plan. Well, we have a meal plan. And we also have meal templates because you're going to customize these, but we have meal templates for people with inflammatory conditions, preconception, menopausal women, so much more. So we've created all these different templates that help you kickstart your nutrition plan for the first month, give you recipe ideas and get you started. And then one of the big exciting pieces is we're also including different types of movement now. So one path is progressive overload training. Progressive overload training is something that I am like super passionate about. It is so helpful for women's bodies. It's essentially you lifting weights and you start at a lower weight and then you move your way up so that you're progressively building muscle. Women need to build muscle. And a lot of the progressive overload education systems are great, but I have multiple different fitness apps because again, I don't like to be bored. And many of them cost $100 a month. I think the cheapest one I have is like $40 a month. And so I wanted a way for women to get consistent education and consistent fitness programming, but not to have to pay $100 to each of these little apps. So that's included. So we have an 8-week progressive overload beginner. And so you're using dumbbells at home if you want. And then we're progressing throughout the course of the years, all the way up to how you can be in the gym, lifting heavy weights, using the machinery and the barbells and everything. So it's getting you comfortable with proper form and posture, how to, again, progress weights appropriately in a way that you're not going to hurt yourself. These are things I'm really passionate about. So that's one path. Then the other path developed by our physiotherapist is this progression to gaining weight. So we call it a clinical Pilates track, but it's truly like a rehab and connection path. We need to have people comfortable going from never having lifted a weight to strong. And we need to have people, as someone who dealt with chronic pain for many years, you can't just lift up a weight, right? So I went to physio constantly. Then I got into Pilates and reformer Pilates. Then I built the strength of my postural muscles. I learned how to connect with my muscles. I learned how to connect with my form. I knew how to, when I was lifting weights, know if I was doing it right or wrong, if I was going to be causing an issue so that I wasn't in pain. And so we have this progressive path that we're developing as well, where it's allowing us the opportunity to get comfortable in our bodies. And so that's our clinical Pilates track. And then from there, so that's what we're doing the first month, right? Is you are learning whichever education path, you're moving your body in some way, shape, or form, and you're eating according to some kind of template, at least to give you ideas. If you don't want to eat perfectly in that way, no problem, right? We can give you some ideas. And then we have our cohorts. So these are groups that you can join for community. They're led by our onboarding coordinators who are available for you to answer questions, support with tech support. Because we have an app on your phone, but we also have a website version of this. So they're available for tech support. They are emailing you consistently, making sure you get the resources you need and just holding your hand through the whole experience. So you're getting all of that, right? All of that included in part of your experience. And then if you want to continue after that, at the time of this recording, it's going to be $27 a month. Of course, as we get more and more education and more content, the price of that's going to go up. But for all of that content, plus then we have our courses. So we have our metabolic health courses. We have all kinds of educational webinars. We have information deep diving into your conditions, so endometriosis and menopausal conditions, PCOS or PMOS, acne, and digestive health, honestly, weight loss resistance, so much more. Then we are also consistently adding to this. So we're developing content so that you understand your labs in a deeper way. As you get that blood work back and you're feeling a little overwhelmed, your doctor went through it with you quickly and you're like, okay, I forgot what she said. I was really overwhelmed. You'll have all those resources. So we have so much developed and so much coming for you so that you then can jump into the app. You can search and say, oh, I want to know the best evidence available and the advanced women's health approach to weight loss resistance or eczema or whatever is coming up for you, PMS. Am I perimenopausal? You'll be able to get the answers to these questions all within our ecosystem. And then, of course, continuously get access to recipes and support, monthly calls, fitness programming, and so much more. So I am honestly so grateful to our team for supporting this journey. I'm a typical entrepreneur and then I have 1,000 ideas, but I am very, very passionate about how we execute with excellence, which means that I have held them to a very high standard during this process. And they have all, again, everyone helping me develop this, my assistants, my onboarding coordinators, everyone has just been so wonderful in holding themselves to that standard and wanting more and more for our patients. And our admin team and our practitioners are all getting so excited as well and getting behind it. And this is something that I know is going to change the game for patients. I know is going to be just this next level opportunity for those who dive into it, because you will always get excellent care at Advanced Women's Health. Like that will always be our foundation. But to be able to get a whole lifestyle integration and a supported plan is what women need. And again, I have been in and walked patients through so many courses, and they are paying thousands of dollars for education and community for a 12-week period of time. And I love that exists. And I love that for the people who are leading those courses. This is not a judgment. But for a lot of women, they feel like if they don't have thousands of dollars, then they can't get support in their onboarding journey and their healthcare journey. And that's absolutely, we are now making fundamentally untrue. You can have this level of support, whether you have a ton of money to throw at your health or whether you don't. And so we want to have accessible options. And fundamentally, I do this because I want women to get better, because when women feel their best, when they're confident, when they're energetic, when they feel good in their bodies, when they know how they're going to wake up the next day. I hear that from people all the time. I could wake up tomorrow exhausted or anxious or what have you. I don't want to take on any more than I can handle on my worst day. And if we have confidence in our body and our health, if we have confidence to stand on a stage, if we have confidence to lead a team of people, if we feel resilient, our kids are going to be better for it. Our communities are going to be better for it. Our businesses, our government, don't even start me on that, right? We need women as leaders. And we talk about this all the time. We need women in leadership positions, but their health is holding them back. Their support is holding them back. And so we're not fixing the problem. We're just letting the problem perpetuate and continue. And so if I can do anything to change that, to allow women to step into their power and to allow women to not have their health hold them back, I will absolutely do it. And that means that I can be a challenging person to work around sometimes, because I am always coming up with the next idea and the next thing to support women in a bigger way. And so, yes, I just can't wait for you guys to dive in. I can't wait to get your feedback. I can't wait for any patients who are currently patients. You can reach out to us. You can start your onboarding, or if you're waiting for an appointment or going to book an appointment, I can't wait for my team to work with you. So yes, if you need support, you can reach out to info@advancedwomenshealth.ca. You could book with one of our patient onboarding coordinators, but this is now something that is automatically going to be available to any new patients. And like I said, we are making it 100% available. Your first month is free for current patients. So just reach out to us, and we are just so happy to support you and to help you on your journey. If you're listening to this much later in the fall, then there may be a charge for the onboarding. But again, it's $27 and you get access to everything. And I'm sure by that point, so much more. So have a beautiful day, everyone. I can't wait to launch this together and your feedback. And I will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you had as much fun as we did. And if you loved today's episode, share it with a friend and leave us a review. That is how we spread this message, and that is how we are going to revolutionize healthcare in Canada for women. Have a beautiful day and be well.